Thank you, Senator Hirono. Senator Scott.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman. Admiral, you got the right background. You're going to do an outstanding job. And I want to thank you for your years of service, and I want to thank your family for their sacrifice and their commitment to you. I think you're going to be doing an outstanding job. You are doing a fixer-upper. You got a lot of work to do. As a enlisted guy that joined after high school, I hope you remember all those young men and women that come right out of high school and have real core beliefs in our military and the opportunity they have, and hope you'll treat them with respect and help them give the opportunities that I had when I was in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
So I've been up here 6.5 years. The federal government, in my opinion, has had unbelievable lack of accountability. I'll just give you one at the Navy. The new destroyer, the DDG-125, was commissioned in October 2023, and yet it can't be deployed until at least 2028 because it has a radar that needs to be tested. It didn't seem to make much sense. So why, do you have any idea why the Navy would build a ship and not test the radar on the ship before commissioning it?
Senator, I share your frustration with that trend. I've seen it far too often. We're in the shipyard for years. We come out and immediately have to go across the pier and get into a modernization period to actually go get modernized before I actually deliver. I want to work very closely, if I'm confirmed, with our program offices on fixing that. The integration of all the systems, the timely delivery of all that, and the turnkey ability for that ship, once it's ready to be handed over to me, needs to tighten up. And if I'm confirmed, I'll work hard to try to assuage the problem that you've just described with the Lucas.
So do you think that that you will have the authority to hold people accountable, both the people in the military, the civilian workforce, and our suppliers? Because it seems like it's all three. We haven't held our military leaders accountable, the people that work, the civilians, or these suppliers. Give me a break. If I'm a business guy, if this still happened to me, somebody would not be there. I'd say, you're really nice, but you're not going to work here.
Senators, you and I discussed in our office call, the holding of military program managers accountable, I've struggled with in my career. We have a very clear mechanism for operational commanders. It's not so clear with program managers. These are complex programs, multi-billion-dollar programs. I know the Secretary of the Navy and I have discussed better ways to actually ensure outcomes are happening in our programs and accountability and measuring the performance of people better that do that type of work. On the industry side, it goes to my opening a bit about sole source. When I find myself in monopolistic type of environments, the contracting strategy that I can get to utilize to do any type of accountability and incentives is challenging, but it's not insurmountable, and I do think we need to improve there, sir.
Yeah. Well, in business, my goal was don't deal with monopolists. I remember somebody told me I had to do business with them. I said, well, if I do, I will, but I figured out how not to do business with them. And so I saw them about 6 months later, and he told his wife he's why we didn't make our numbers last quarter, because we moved so much business. So if at the end of your time in this role, what will be you'll say I succeeded or failed? What's your true north?
Well, I think you would see a Navy that's got a ship count that's climbing commensurate with a 4-year assignment, where we're on pace with the delivery, meeting the contractual delivery dates and not over by 1 or 2 years as we currently experience. You'd see the gaps at sea on our ships have gone to zero. You see the munition floor requirements that we have completely met. So you can't win a war without munitions. You'd see the backlog of supply parts that we use typically as a bill payer frequently at the end of year, re-zeroed out so the lockers on board our ships are filled with the repair parts they need, and that the world-class training that our sailors deserve is just firing on all cylinders. So if I can accomplish those things at the end of this assignment, if I'm confirmed, I'd be pretty happy.
You're going to do a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
We would be exceedingly happy. Senator Kane.